All right, looks like we're online. Hello to people watching the VOD in the future. Today we're sitting down just to look at this list on the left of some of the festivals slash circus map assets that we've planned out. And as we go, hopefully we'll think of some new ones too. And basically just fill up the canvas and make a bunch of drafts, just drafts. We're going to figure out the scale and like the general shape and major details. And then all of the minor details, like, I don't know what's on the banners. That's going to happen in the line art. I don't want to get too finicky with the drafting. Otherwise we'll be here forever drawing drafts. And it's already the 5th today? It is, yeah. So that's the plan. Draft out some assets, hoping that stream chat will help me think of some other things that may have slipped my mind. And yeah, that's about it. Yesterday we put together this draft. We've got exterior on the left, interior on the right. And I did spend some time thinking about support posts and how they all line up and how the trapeze artists do their thing around the support posts. And basically what I want to do is rip out the support posts and the trapeze set, stick them down here as separate assets, and then I can just leave it to you guys. When you download the map, you can choose, do I want a circus where the tent is held up by magic without any support beams? Do I want to have support beams? Do I want to offset the trapeze around the support beams? Blah, 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 blah. So I'll just make separate assets and I'll put the decision in your hands. But that's the idea. That's the conclusion I've come to with yesterday's problem. And I'm pretty happy with where this draft's at. I might like figure out some other details. I think I want to do some like structural lines on this tent roof to figure out how the fabric's hanging. But that's not today's job. I wanna move on to something a little new today. So, me and Fabio in the chat, good morning. We'll head over to this canvas and start drawing other stuff. I think we'll start with a man cannon. One of those, what would I call it? A man cannon. That seems fun. Cannon big enough to shoot a clown out of it, you know. I'm thinking basic shape, like 10-foot long ordeal. I also changed some settings in the background with Photoshop because we had some crashes yesterday. And yeah, so I've increased the RAM, which might do the trick. So here's basic shape, and I think we want to give it a little bit of like a cartoonish shape to it too. It's all about the theatrics at the circus. Maybe like a blunderbuss kind of end to it. See that? And I think we want to angle it upwards. Well, that's kind of a bit much. Maybe I could imagine if our clown squeezed into kind of a diving pose, they could fit in here. And then angle it upwards like that. And then like one of those little cartoonish, imagining like Wile E. Coyote, with the wick here for lighting. And then it needs to be on some kind of base. And I think I've been thinking about this cannon previously, actually. So I'm just going through the motions. I'm imagining wheels which are kind of splayed outwards, cartoonishly. Just hint at a base underneath there. And then I think the cannons, I think it comes back like this, and then these are kind of support feet that double as kind of a wheelbarrow system to move this thing around. You know, they'll get the strong man to come move this thing around. But that looks pretty good. So structurally, it's like this. And maybe we do like a poof of fire as well. Big, thick wheels too, I think. Kind of cute. I'll quickly glance at a real life cannon to make sure we're not missing any vital components. It looks like I kind of intuited the wheelbarrow locomotion system. That seems to be legitimate. They're basically just loaded into minecart looking contraptions though. Oh, maybe some, I don't know what the purpose of them are, but like rope tied around the body of the cannon. That will be useful just to show the angle, the shape of the cannon. Yeah, that sounds good. I think we'll just utilize one of these lines I've already drawn. And then this will be like rope, maybe one more. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll leave more details for when we draw the thing. And it may be kind of lopsided, but that's okay in this case, because we're not trying to make a symmetrical cannon that's being lugged off to war. There's just a circus prop. Although I suppose it does truly fire people out the end, so maybe it should be better built than a war cannon. Who knows? I like doing drafts here digitally, getting the shape and stuff right, because then I can also play around with the scale and figure out just like explore what we've got. Not just go with the first draft, you know? Like that looks more interesting. Mm. Excuse me. Yeah, we can just play in a messy fashion with scaling perspective. That's pretty good. It kind of looks wonky. Make sure it shoots straight. We don't want the people rattling around inside. I like that. Probably won't draft out every asset. There'll be certain things like, I don't know, streamers, which are just drop dead simple, which we won't have to draw. So the main thing I wanted to employ you all to help me think of is game stalls. Obviously, we can do like tests of strength and dip your head in the barrel. Can't remember what that's called. Game stalls, kind of your classic real life circus ones. But I also want to think of some fantasy ones like Catch the Pixie in the Bug Net, or I don't know, something that would be interesting to draw too. So if any ideas come to you all, please let me know. Some animal cages. This is going to be simple. They'll just be boxes. I think I want to do a simple cargo cart as well. I still want to do more fancy and modular wagons, but at least we can put a token cart in here as well. Something kind of circusy, but also not all the way circusy. Glass bottles and small hoops. I don't know that one. Might have to look up some of these. Gnome throwing. Are these gnomes like employees of the circus? Are they cool with it? So a big 10-foot cart, I reckon. That'll be big enough for the cannons and like all the big circus tents. Probably pulled by about 6 horses. I could imagine like a performance where Goliath is juggling a bunch of gnome acrobats. General cart shape. Hey, good morning, Roll. We have a horse token. I mean, I know for a fact we do, but let me just drag in a horse token from the token editor. That'll help inform this card. Wonder if we've uploaded it yet. Yeah, do. Let me. Yeah, I'll just change the overlay a little bit so that people who are just now stopping by can be invited into the fun. Horse. And horse is a large creature, right? So this is a token by Hammer the Shark. And it looks like he's already scaled it very well. I mean, even that scale looks pretty plausible. It's a good token for riding a horse too. I need to like boot up Red Dead Redemption 2 and figure out how wagons work again. Wild West wagon. Maybe just search for circus wagon and see what comes up. Is that a real thing, or am I going to see a bunch of art? Okay, yeah. So my plan basically is to do a very basic wagon that will be big enough to haul our cannon and animal cages and whatnot. And maybe we'll put some circus flair on it if I think of a good way to implement that. Oh yeah, Red Dead has a circus wagon. Basic stuff. What I'm most interested in finding is how the horse attaches to the thing. This always confuses me. It is just a thing, like a pole, a beam that sticks out the front. It's like a crossbar, I guess, where the thingy attaches. Hmm. How does horse attach to wagon? Horse attached to wagon. All right, so there's the style where there's beam on either side of the horse. And then there's a style where there's a beam in the center, which is what we need, that attaches to two horses. And the horses are attached via ropes. Or is there a beam which kind of crossbar which comes in front of their chest? Hmm. Oh boy, Autumn. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry to hear the bad news. What was the cause of death? Okay, we've got this. So this is the cross beam which I was imagining. So on the map it is just a simple T shape. All of this, whatever system of ropes and stuff attaches to the horse. I'm not sure. I think this bit attaches to the back of the wagon. The kind of thing I need to find in real life and like walk around the thing and understand it. I suppose Red Dead is about as good as real life. Just do that. Yeah, those horses, they can't be just attached to that cross beam because then like where's the are they're not pushing against it, they're pulling. So I think they are attached via whatever that thingy on the side is called. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I should, in between today and me drawing this thing, I'll open up Red Dead and figure out how it works. Um, okay, here's a. Oof, that's rough. Yeah, getting mixed up with water. That's a deadly mix. But it sounds like you played it out and it took several steps for them to die, so the dice demanded it. I suppose the only purpose of this crossbeam is another. Maybe it's like psychological for the horse. I don't know. I know nothing about wagons. That's probably clear at this point. But at the very least, the only thing that needs to appear on the map is this beam system. Whatever this bridling system is, that's a job for like a future overlay. Perhaps like an add-on for our horse, but perhaps also just the imagination, right? Hmm. Oh, the wooden loop. Yeah, I used to know the name for that. I know what you mean by it. So that's attached to the T, but they're not like pushing against the T. They're pulling against the cart. Yeah. Okay, we've got enough information to work with. I want to get sucked down the rabbit hole and sit here and figure out how this all works, but that's not the job for today. Today's job is map just necessary details and figure out the rest later. It kind of comes to mid horse. We'll go a little further, just caution's sake. And this is not a 2-horse job, this massive thing. This is like a 4-horse job. I'm going to quickly look up like a 4-horse wagon just to see what the spacing looks like. Yeah, they're pretty close, I guess. Well, this might be a pretty good reference image. Hmm. All of the images, all of the useful ones I'm finding are from Red Dead. I suppose because they're just so clear, like the lighting is game lighting and not confusing real life lighting with really dark shadows and whatnot. Also find sometimes like um, miniatures, figurines and models are good resources. Hmm. The yoke, thank you, Autumn. Yeah, that's the one. I remember crafting yokes in Worm Online. back in the day. One of the old MMOs I used to play. You used to have to build your own cart and your own yoke and breed your own horses, and it all took many an hour, many a day. Awesome fun though. Hmm. Not a lot of images with an angle where I can tell what's going on with a multi-horse setup. Okay, now this one, I'm not sure how accurate a reference this might be. Oh, it's very big. This looks almost like a train system, like this can't be right. This must be simplified. Yeah, like that. This is simplified for being like a modular toy. That can't be it. I do not trust it enough. Um, what I keep seeing is kind of like this, where kind of just a single central simple beam, and then all the horses are attached to it with straps and ropes or whatever. What is this? I think that like pulls taut or something? Yeah, but part of the cart, the stationary bits and pieces, pretty much just this beam which pokes out the front. This is fine. This isn't a waste of time because I'm going to do a big cart pack at some point in the near future. So all of this research is going to help us now, and it's going to help us for that too. But you know what? I think I'm just going to have to open up Red Dead 2 at a later point and look in like first person view how this all works. It's going to be much more useful than scouring Google for it. In the meantime, we can just do the body of the cart and forget about the rest. Ah, interesting. This is partly why I wanted to start streaming so that people who know something can give me a hand. Keep these ones around. Yeah, we'll just forget about this bit and we'll figure out the body of the cart for now. Where am I? Try and have a few drawings down before I have to knock off today. Nothing worse than sitting down to draw and spending the whole time researching, and then when I get up for my lunch break, I look at the canvas and it's basically empty. I'm thinking classic, not like this, that's a little boring. I'm thinking big back wheel. Even though this is not like, I suppose it's just a matter of taste at this level of detail. Wheel, no canopy or anything. This is going to be empty so that we'll have little modular bits. You can put a cage in there or you can put in luggage, etc., etc. We might have like a canopy overlay. Oh, I think we'll put like a, I want to offset this so that the seat is in vaguely the middle of these grid spaces, so that when you're playing with your tokens and they're snapping to the center of the grid, it looks like they might be theoretically seated. So we'll put a comically large seat here at the front. Like she's standing on it. Maybe we'll move it back a bit. We might move this whole thing back a bit. Remembering that our horses too are going to snap. Right around there. We're kind of working around the tokens, and true, this guy's going to snap too. Handily, when they snap to the grid, they look to be about the right spacing. Be a nice warm-up for the carts and carriages pack. Really, I'm just going to detail one side and then I'll copy paste it to the other side. And in the detailing, I just want to, it's going to be a very simple shape, obviously, because it's very simple construction. But there's little bits and pieces, like I remember from prior research, there's these little chests, boxes on the side. I don't know what people keep in them, but they're, you see them all the time. We got a seat, which I don't want to reach right to the edge. In my mind, this is the kind of seat here with the spring system, not like this one. And then probably just some hint of like structural stuff, structural beams. There's some kind of business going on between the wheels. Hey, Deluzy. You've come at a time when my workflow is very plodding and involves a lot of searching through Google for reference imagery. But glad to have you. There's certain carts with like a footrest too. There's a very Wild West era, I think, and that's maybe not what we're going for. I'm mindful that medieval carts and Red Dead Redemption carts are very different generally. But the footrest I'm seeing in a lot of these photos. It's such medieval wagon. Maybe I'll get some more useful stuff. Yeah, these are quite distinct. That's pretty much this stream is we are drafting out some of the assets we plan to make. We've got a big game plan we wrote here at the start of the month. So we've got some assets here, which I want to make drafts for and figure out, for example, how cart work. Who knows? Not me. But we'll figure it out and do all the research, draw some preliminary line art, and then when it comes time to draw it with pen and paper, all of those decisions will have been made. Okay, so footrests. I'm seeing a lot of footrests on Medieval Card 2. I suppose it makes good sense. Like, just for safety. Hey again, Brandon. I'm not sure. I can't actually see what you're posting, Fabio. If you're posting links or images or anything, I just see your texts. I think this little shape I was drawing, this might serve as our footrest. I just want to break up the basic square, right? I think like a trunk at the back would be nice. And then maybe some like support beams poking out. That seems interesting. And then this old thing, which I still need to research, poking out. I'll save because this is what tends to crash my Photoshop. But looks like we're safe this time. Yeah, that's a handy thing. So looks big enough to fit the cannon inside. The circus tent, the cages. Let's draw a cage next. Now, I need to pick up the pace, I think, because I'm actually only streaming for about an hour today. That's not quite a 10 by 10. It's probably not that big. So our biggest cage will be about this big. Hopefully they're not squeezing the elephants in there. Although I suppose an elephant, do we have an elephant token? That'll be fun to bring in. Have a good one, Autumn. Don't feel too bad about your player death. Happens to everyone. We do have an elephant. He's a big one too. Save. Maybe these elephants are so well trained, they just pull the cart. Elephant's huge. I think this one is supposed to be 2 by 3. Well, that's weird. When I imported him, he's skinnier than the original. Did I do that? Oh, I totally did that. I need to hold down shift. Okay, he is 3 by 3. So he could totally fit in there. He's just not going to be caged. He's a very well-behaved elephant, and yeah, he just chills. This particular cage will be for the tigers or whatever. The blink dogs. whatever you might have in a fantasy circus. Nothing bigger than large, please. Cage. And I think cage, I want to introduce a little bit of perspective. Otherwise, it's going to be very boring to look at. Although, in this case, strictly top-down cage would be more versatile. All right, well, I could still figure out the general bars. Yeah. I'm imagining one that way, and then multiple horizontal ones. And drafting them out now will make it easier to get these spaced evenly later on. Okay, that makes good sense to me. I do want cages, more than one cage. Probably one for medium creatures as well. If you have a particularly ethical circus, you might not have any caged animals at all. They might be awakened animals or something. Just regular employees. I think. Ooh. Like, I want this circus pack to be versatile enough so that it has. Could be a good circus, a bad circus, any sort of circus. Up to whatever you happen to need for your campaign. Save. Where am I saving this? Do I have a file set up? Oh, I do. So, let's jump back here. Our arena is 5, 10, 15, 55. Did I count that right? No, it's 50. It's 50 feet wide. Because I want to make like a stage and some other assets for this. So, in that case, I'm thinking like a 20-foot diameter. Podium. Honestly, this is the main reason I make these drafts, so that I can make circles. I don't have to freehand them later or bother using like a compass or something. Okay, podium. Quick Google of a circus podium. Is there any particular thing that goes into them? They're pretty basic. And I suppose like miniature podiums too, where the elephant does its balancing trick. And then these podiums also have like a sloped edge. So let's work that into big podium, tiny podium. Also, should I think the trapeze set will be a part of this asset pack. Yeah, we might put a duplicate in the circus map assets, but it won't be completely, we won't make a completely new one. Yeah, Brandon, I've sent this list down here. We've got some token requests we came up with. They're all pretty basic, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Cliche circus performers, which we hope to make tokens for. And then I've also given David and Hammer the go ahead to make whatever fantastical circus folk they feel like. And we want balls. We want a series of circus balls for balancing and whatever else. Whoa. My Photoshop's doing all sorts of funny business. And the other thing we want is some versatile tents. Round tents, rectangular tents, all in very circusy colors. Oh, and I was also talking about a canopy for our cart. That's easy. I think I just copy paste this. This square will be sufficient. Put him there for now. Actually, I suppose we want the edges as well. Now, yeah, we just want a bunch of pavilions of various sizes. We want an oval one, circle one, and a square one, I suppose. as for the size, I'm imagining these pavilions are what will contain the game stalls, whatever shops and I guess also housing for the circus folk. So I'm thinking something like 4 by 3, 15 by 20 for the smallest tent. That's a good place to start. Thanks, Roll. I don't think I'm going to make any drafts for those things since they'll be pretty simple to draw. In fact, I don't really need to make a draft for these tents either because I'm going to print out this grid too. Yeah, I need to be more mindful of that. We'll just stick to the stuff that's technical and needs a bit of drafting. Like the grand entrance. Okay, let's jump into grand entrance. So, grand entrance, let's say we want it to be big enough for one of these carts to go under it. So we'll do like a 20-foot entrance. So imagine support pillar, support pillar. And we'll do a bit of 3D. And like when we drew our cart, we'll just draw half of it and then we'll duplicate it. Here's our support pillar. And it's probably held up by a series of ropes, perhaps, with like staked into the ground. We're just going to feel this one out. And on top, maybe there's a beam that goes this way. And then there's a big sign that attaches onto this. That's pretty bog standard, in my opinion. So we've got bog standard. We've accomplished that. Now we've got to make it interesting. But I'll copy that for now just so I can get an idea of the scale. And I think that's pretty good in terms of perspective and scale. We're breaking our rule here because the rest of our assets are strictly top down. This one's not, but I think that's okay for the grand entrance because ultimately it's a focal point. And we've got kind of this aesthetic going on with a bunch of banners. Because this circus, I imagine, is kind of a collaboration between some different performer guilds, and they each have their banner. So there's a banner for uh, the acrobats and a banner for the animal tamers, etc., etc. So I think we want to mix in banners here. don't want to name the circus, so we're not going to put some big writing on this. I want it to be a general use asset so that whatever circus you might already have in your world can use it. Ooh, there's some serious smoke filtering through my window. What we could do is like canonically speaking, they had this big sign with the circus name on it. But over time, as they grew larger and larger, they accumulated more and more banners. And now it's all just banners hanging off of it. And whatever's written underneath can't actually be seen anymore. And that's going to allow us to introduce some asymmetry as well. But I'm not married to the idea. Just one such idea. Maybe we'll have more than one grand entrance if I have any other bright ideas. I think we want like lanterns and stuff involved too. Like this should be the brightest point in the whole circus, perhaps the entrance to the actual tent being the only thing brighter. Probably like lanterns on the side of these posts, maybe lanterns. Just yeah, maybe there's like a whole stream, a whole clothesline of lanterns hanging off. Quite like that. And here, hmm. I think if there's going to be a strange shape to this theoretical wooden sign, it should probably mirror kind of the silhouette of this tent, which will kind of be like a crown of sorts. Maybe that'll be the default name for this circus, is just the... Wait, Crown Circus is a real world circus, I think. Maybe it's the King's Circus or something. Make it a real fire hazard, the way I want to go. My razor's way too big. That interesting? I think it's missing something. Yeah, definitely. The Circus of Many Banners. We have a grey banner settlement. Maybe this will be Rainbow Banner Circus or something. Oh, maybe that's what we're missing, is like big flag. In fact, all of these banners might maybe should be fluttering in the wind. Maybe not all of them, but the majority. That'll be maybe the dynamic element that I'm searching for. Add a fine breeze to the scene. Kakariko Village. Yeah, you know what I think I'm channeling is the Minish Cap opening, which I think opens with a festival. Kind of want to look that up. The Picori Festival. Yeah. They have a grand entrance to their town. Got a big town bell hanging from it. It's interesting. I like the element they have with a big comical bow, a ribbon tied around it. Oh, that game takes me back. I think Minish Cap got me big time into pixel art, and then pixel art got me big time into general art, and then general art got me into battle maps. So maybe we can all thank Diminished Cap for kicking this off. I think it's better with the wind. But I think in hindsight, I don't like the crown shape. Maybe it just needs to be more interesting. Moving away from the silhouette of the circus tent idea. Maybe it needs some more body to it. Right now it's just a flat plane. But if this were a solid chunk of wood, that might sell the idea. Yeah, helping, in my opinion. Maybe these pillars aren't just simple pillars of wood. Maybe we can do something with them too. Or like just a big fiery tops to them or something. Magical fire, it's completely safe. Maybe they have a bit of a peak to them. I'm tempted just to give this whole circus like a very clear theme. Rather than chasing down generic circus, just do like a circus that's all about mushrooms or something. And then so much easier once we have a clear theme to do a mushroom themed tent, mushroom themed cannon, and mushroom themed this and that. I'll consider it. But I do want to do general use circus because it'll be so much more generally useful. I mean, the more that I play around with it, the more interesting it's becoming. Compositionally speaking, I think we want like a general shape to these banners. Maybe one more. Definitely want asymmetry, right? This is a circus after all. This is for chaotic folk. Maybe not. Maybe that's an oversimplification. Yeah, I think we'll nix the fishing line of lanterns. Maybe that's more interesting. And ultimately, it's just this wooden board. Oops, that was a banner. Attached to two very simple posts. I think structurally we can do something more interesting than that. Just that nothing's coming to me in this moment. Yeah, that would be very Super Mario. I should listen to the Minish Cap soundtrack. Maybe that would help me find what I need. Okay, putting my mind in the mind of a traveling circus. What materials might I carry with me to build a grand entrance? Maybe they just chop these trees down fresh every time and they just carry this big thing. Big billboard. We could just make one taller than the other for a bit of asymmetry. It's starting to look from afar like a city gate to an orcish garrison, just because of the spikes and like the banners of the people they've defeated in battle. Been playing too much Shadow of War, perhaps. Okay, what about flags? Big flags billowing in the wind in addition to our banners. Like maybe that's what I want. Maybe because I definitely want to add on to this circus some big billowing banners. Big, yeah, big streaming flags, you know. I think we do need those here at the entrance. Hmm. Maybe it's the spike. Maybe the spike just isn't it? Let's move down here in some empty space and figure out just the billboard in isolation. So I'm kind of imagining cliche circus might be something like this, like a welcome to the circus, blah blah blah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's the general idea with the banners. The banners are like the guild banners for the different performers. Maybe it's something that looks, it's like a facade that looks like a city gate. I'm thinking that would be like appropriate in a Renaissance fair or something. Maybe not in a medieval circus. But perhaps like maybe I should look at Google like Disneyland entrance. See what they figured out. Oh, that's kind of what I imagined. It's like a facade. also with a bunch of flags. Yeah, I think I want to move away from billboard and towards an actual building, like actual architecture. All right, so I'll just draw it face on to start with. We also lengthen it a bit. This will give us extra space for banners. And then this is designed to look maybe more castle-like. Hmm. Banner, 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 banner. Maybe we just cover it in this thick layer of banners, and the banners create kind of a curtain for people to walk through. I think that might be fun. And we'll just call it the Circus of Banners, kind of canonically. Supports. This is a very basic draft. Have mirror it on this side, and then it's just a whole series of banners. And then it's just going to be this assault of color, right? And then we even like layer up the banners. There's multiple banners all layered on top of each other. Maybe it's not this billboard structure, but just like an archway. Yeah, I think this is maybe a winner. Just an archway full of banners. Might also kind of look like an orcish stronghold to me, but once we add in all the color, all the circus color, and also lights, maybe banners, and then just like word that I just call it clothesline, full of lanterns. I think that makes sense too for traveling circus. So they roll up all the banners, stick them in a wagon, leave behind all of the lumber, maybe sell it off for cheap. When they pitch up somewhere new, they'll chop down some trees and build this whole thing afresh. Okay, I quite like that. We'll keep this one in case we want to go back to it. Maybe I'll draw this one too. Oh boy, I just did it. I crashed the Photoshop and I don't think I saved this, so I'm going to take a screenshot of it instead. And they crashed my screenshot software too. I think I did. Maybe that's a hint. Maybe like Photoshop is incompatible with my screenshot tool. Anyway, technical difficulties time. Please excuse me while I restart Photoshop. This might even be a good place for me to call lunchtime. I think I will. I think I'll look at the stream, extract the draft that we just drew, and then use that. We'll just plug that right back into the draft. So nothing's lost. I think I found a design that I like, and I'll think on it, sleep on it maybe, get some lunch, and Yeah. Thanks everyone for stopping by. We came up with some good ideas today, made some good progress, figured out how wagons work, made a cannon we're very happy with, and yeah, before we know it, we'll actually be drawing with pen and paper. So thanks for keeping me company, lending me your good ideas, your encouragement. It's been fun, and I'll be back next time. So have a good one, and bye bye.